Welcome to let's try that again. Welcome to the College Football Podcast, RPO College Football Podcast, your favorite podcast. Now I'm messing up because I don't know what I'm saying now. Hey, it happens, man. This is live. It happens. It happens. What's going on, guys? Hope y'all doing well. Happy Thanksgiving. I know a lot of y'all getting y'all food ready. Y'all smelling it right now. Y'all getting hungry. Some of y'all, some people start the day before. I'm used to smelling it the day before. Some people do it the morning of, very early. How you feeling, Ray? And how's your Thanksgiving going?
So far so good, man. I've been off this week from work, so I'm going good.
That's good, man. That's awesome. Hey, I'm off too, so I am definitely excited to get some food in me. Get nice and fat. Not that I need to get any more fatter, but giving food is different, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a fan of Thanksgiving, so I always look forward to it. So
definitely. You got some family coming over, or
we usually go to a clubhouse where I work at, and we all eat there. So
oh, that's awesome, man. Awesome.
yeah.
So I hope the rest of you guys are having a good Thanksgiving Eve. Hopefully y'all have a great day tomorrow. A lot of y'all have offs. You're gonna be around family, so I'm definitely happy about that. But we gotta talk about football, and we got some news because man, it's rivalry weekend, man. If you don't know about rivalry weekend is the best weekend because you get the best football, you get the best rivals, and the last week of the regular season. So we're going to be talking about that a lot today. Let's get into the rankings, though, right? Let's do it because we gotta. If it comes when it comes down to the top four, and you're looking for the top four, don't get too surprised. Nothing much. I'll say this was probably the closest of all games this weekend. All these games was close. All these games, the top four teams struggled. I'll say top four teams struggled. I think the only one that didn't really struggle was Ohio State. Other top teams struggled. We got a top five team getting knocked out, and we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as the rankings, Ray, how do you feel about what's been going on lately?
I don't worry too much about the rankings, honestly.
They're important though. They are important.
Well, they're important if you're in the playoff hunt. I'm really not, so they're not as important to me. But I got that. So
Okay. Well, I'm gonna run out the top 10, and your top 10 is gonna sound a little different, and you'll hear it at the end of it. So number one we got Georgia. Number two we got Ohio State. Number three we got Michigan, and number four we got TCU. Nothing changed within I think the last 2 weeks with that. Pretty much the same. Number five we got a new number five. We got LSU number five. We got USC as number six. We got number seven Alabama. Number eight is Clemson. Number nine is Oregon, and number 10 is Tennessee. And if you hear right, Tennessee is number 10. We'll definitely talk about that game because Tennessee just coming off a loss last week, so it's pushing them down. But as far as the rankings, do you think they're properly set? Do you think this is about right?
I think that if USC winds up beating Notre Dame this week, maybe they stick into the top four.
You think they're four?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
Depending on the outcome of the game.
See, I think depending on the outcome of the game and depending on the outcome of TCU as well. I don't think they're going to take out a TCU team. I just don't think because they're the only four undefeated teams too. Obviously between Michigan and Ohio State, that's going to be a big one. One of them's going to fall out. One of them might even fall out from top four, depending who it is. Michigan. And it's going to happen just because they're Michigan. And then we got LSU. They're playing Iowa this week. If any of those two fall, I can see that, but I don't know if we can. If they all, well, one of them is going to be defeated. But if let's say Ohio State do loses, and I don't know, I'm not saying they will, and we'll talk about that in a second. Ohio State does lose. Ohio State's still going to be top four.
Yeah.
They're going to be at least four. So I think that if you do it that way, Michigan goes 2, Ohio State 3 or 4. TCU will be in that 3 or 4 range as well. USC beats Notre Dame this weekend. I think USC might jump LSU because LSU do have 2 losses. USC only have 1. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think that The only thing that keeps LSU where they're at right now is the fact that two reasons. They beat Alabama and they're an SEC team. So
no, and I agree because and we do have one more game to kind of before the final playoff look of it as well. Well, two more games this weekend, the championship game. But I think that this coming into this week, if you see how it is, maybe they might just keep USC out just for this week and see how to do with the championship week. I think that's a possibility. And again, I think this all depends on the Ohio Michigan game because honestly, I think if Michigan loses, they're gonna be 5 or 6. I just think just how the committee is, I don't think they'll stay in the top five. Top five.
See, but I think that I know that I don't make the rankings, but
yeah,
if Michigan loses a fairly close game to Ohio State, there is no reason to rank TCU above them. There's just not. So, I mean, if they lose a lopsided event like score, then I'm not going to argue about it, or they can do what they want. But say Michigan loses to Ohio State 27-24, you're going to take them out of the top 5 because they lost to the number 2 ranked team in college football. I mean, I just don't see that. I don't understand why you would do that. So,
Yeah. No, I just seen it before. That's what I'm saying. You seen they jumped Clemson over Michigan that one time. So
what?
That's why
you mean this year?
Yeah.
And how'd that work out for Clemson?
Not good at all. I mean, we talked about it. Right?
Hopefully the people that make these rankings are paying attention to what they're doing all year. If they're not, then why are they doing it? But that's just me.
I agree.
I mean, I think that like I said earlier, the rankings are the rankings. Notre Dame is not going to be a top 5 team. I understand that. So I'm not worried about the rankings. I do want to see good football though. And if you put TCU against Michigan or against Ohio State, they're going to get killed. So if you want to act like they won't just because you're a fan of that team, that's more power to you. But honestly, to me, if you do that and rank TCU over a Michigan team that loses a close game to Ohio State, then you shouldn't be allowed to make the ranking. You're not paying attention to all of college football. That's all.
No, I agree because I think that if you really look at the games that TCU played this year, especially the last few, they've been close games. It's just been
and they're not playing great teams, and they're still fairly close. And I'm not trying to bash them. That I told you 3 weeks ago they deserve to be a top 5 team, and I believe that. But I don't think that they should.
You're gonna talk about that in 1 second, Remy. What's up, Remy?
They did. But I don't think that you should rank. I don't think you should rank Michigan lower than TCU just because Michigan loses to Ohio State. I mean, I just don't think you should. I'm not saying that Michigan belongs in the top 4 or 5, but I wouldn't. Again, it depends on how the game goes. If Michigan loses, to Ohio State 40-20, then we'll see what happens. But
this is the other problem we have with this too, right? Because the loser of Saturday's game will not have the championship game to add to their resume as well.
That's the bad part about it. That's the really frustrating part of it. But again, and I don't want to bash TCU, and I don't want to bash any college football team, but I want to see good competitive games. We saw what happened with Cincinnati last year.
Yeah,
and here's saying with the next breath that they deserve to be ranked in the top 4 or 5, but TCU is not as good as Cincinnati was last year.
Yeah,
they're not as talented as Cincinnati was last year. Do you really want to see a team worse than Cincinnati in the playoffs this year? Because I don't. That's all.
I'll say this: that there's a reason why Michigan and Ohio State has been the last game of the last game of the season every year for the last something years. They're in the same position. They're the best 2 teams in the East, Big Ten. I'm sorry. So when they match up, it's gonna have to be almost like a playoff game because then that other team don't get a championship game. So
they need to change the division part of it and just have the top 2 teams, no matter what they are, playing for a conference championship. And it's that simple. I mean,
I agree with that.
Again, I understand why, or since Michigan and Ohio State have been the best 2 teams in the Big Ten the last couple of years, maybe put them in different divisions.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe try to make it a little bit more even. Again, I don't want to restructure everything. I just think that you should just have the 2 best teams in that conference playing for the championship. It shouldn't matter what division you're in. That's all.
I agree with that. But excuse me. But having that 18 playoff team will help that too, you know?
Again, I think 8 teams is a little bit too much. I would go 6.
But I remember you saying it. Yeah, I know.
But it will help. It won't help keeping teams like TCU out of it, but it will help with the teams that are a little bit lower than the top 4 staying involved.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it'll only help Notre Dame, so I'm fine with that.
Because at the end of the day, we all want to see LSU, Alabama, maybe even Clemson. Like, if you had an 18 playoff right now, it will be the top 4 right now, and that will include LSU, Bama, Clemson, and probably either Oregon or USC. Probably USC because USC had the better record right now. I even
like to see.
I even be excited to see Tennessee. Honestly, I would love to see them in there, even though they just lost 2. But I would love to see them in there too.
I would like to see USC in there because I like to see their offense play against better defenses and see what they can do. I would be interested in that.
LSU shouldn't get in.
That's correct. Whoever said that, I knew that's true.
That's Remy. They probably will, though. To be honest.
Remy's right. Remy, you have never been more correct. LSU doesn't belong in the playoffs and shouldn't be involved.
I agree. It's just that
at this point, maybe shouldn't. Alabama probably shouldn't either. But I know LSU should.
Alabama should definitely not be in it at this point.
But people would rather see Alabama in there than LSU, and so would I.
I agree. But they lost to LSU. LSU right now is ranked higher. Got a better record or the same record? Same record. So when you have something like that and you have a tiebreaker, it's hard. Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, and let's see. Watch. Chris, I don't like that because I know what you're trying to say right now, sir. I pick Bama and over LSU any day.
Agreed.
I agree.
But I would put Michigan over TCU and USC.
Wait, who did you leave? Who else did you leave? Oh, Michigan and okay, gotcha. Anyway, Chris, make me mad. We'll talk about that game in a second because we're definitely gonna have to talk about them. But let's get into our games of the week, and let's get to the game that we was already alluding to. Tennessee falling again. They lost last week, which gave them 2 losses. That is why they are at number 10 instead of number 5. I think they were. So let's talk about it, Ray. What do you think about the game?
I think their defense has been suspect all year, and it struck out again. That's another reason why they should never been. They never should have been a top 5 ranked team. Remember, 3 weeks ago they were number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1. My only question is, like, we all watch college football. I'm starting to think that the people that make these rankings don't watch any of it.
Shut up, Chris. Chris is talking crazy right now. It's okay, though. It's okay.
You know what? I'm not even saying that he's wrong about what he's saying because it's not completely wrong, but it is annoying. So
yeah, I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to get something out of me.
Trying to get your goat.
He said, shout out to Tennessee defense making Rattler look like a first rounder TV again. Dang. Yeah, dude. Yeah. By the way, Chris, I see that M inside your statement right there. Just letting you know.
Yeah, man. I watched the highlights of the game of the Tennessee South Carolina game. I thought Spencer Rattler. I was like, wow, where'd that guy been for 2.5 years?
Okay, so let's talk about the stats, man. First of all, right, 63 to 38. They, like you said, Ray, the defense didn't do much for them. Hooker didn't actually play
They
a
scored,
terrible game.
Jerome. They
Yeah.
didn't do much. They scored 63 points. It
They
was like
didn't do anything. There you go.
it almost like a basketball game running up and down the floor. It was ridiculous. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how the Alabama game, they let Alabama come back too like that. So, like, Ray's not wrong about the defense being sus. Not wrong about that.
again, Chris said it best. They made Spencer Ladder look like a first-round talent again.
30 for 37, 438 yards, and 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's insane, Ray. That is insane. They even let their backup get 1 for 15.
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I that's not good football to me. I'm sorry. Again, I watched the highlights and I was like, wow, did anybody play any defense in this game?
Yeah, it was defensive-less game for sure.
I mean, they didn't even tackle. I saw more broken tackles from Tennessee's defense against South Carolina in this game than I've seen in 5 other games combined. It was horrible. I mean, like, what are we doing? Is it football? I mean,
yeah. I mean, and like I've seen online that a lot of people trying to say because Hooker got injured. Like Hooker got injured in the fourth quarter, dude. It was already kind of out of hand.
It didn't matter. Can Hayden Hooker play linebacker? Or
I was about to say, was he playing defense? No, he wasn't playing defense.
Well, then what is the difference? I mean, like, no, man. It's
the biggest thing that sucks wasn't that Tennessee lost. It was that Hooker tore his ACL. Yes, that definitely was it. I mean, it does suck that he's injured. He's out for the rest of the year. You know, he got his whole NFL career to look forward to. This might ding him in the draft a little bit. We'll talk about that in later dates. But as far as drafting wise, but definitely, you know, he's definitely gonna get drafted somewhere. It's gonna since it's late in the year, he might be. What's this? November, December, August, November, January, February, March, April. 5 months. By the time the draft is over, he just. I mean, I will say, I think it takes like 8 months to say it, something like that, to get back on the field.
If you draft him at this point, you're drafting totally on game film that you have from the last 2 years.
Yeah,
you can't even think about working him out this year. No one's going to draft him early.
No.
He's going to
have at least second round potential.
There are teams that need quarterbacks this year. I can see a team like San Francisco taking a flyer on him later in the draft. Mm-hmm. Maybe even Pittsburgh if they're not sold on Kenny Pickett. Somebody who has a Tennessee who is in a situation where they're not sure about the quarterback situation, but they're still a good, solid team, are probably going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. A team like that, I could see him going to later in the first round.
In the first, though?
I would take him in the first round still. I would.
I don't think you can.
I don't agree with that.
You know why? Because the other thing is that he's older. I think he's like 25-ish, something like that. He's also an older quarterback, so that's a good one. The Colts. That's a good one, Chris. The Colts.
Yeah, the Colts need to do something about quarterback. They keep drafting guys, pulling them like out of the unemployment line and making them a starting quarterback.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah, man. They had Philip Rivers for a year. I mean, and I love Philip Rivers, but he was done by then. Carson Wentz has been a shell of himself since all the injuries he had in Philadelphia. Now they went to Matt Ryan. People in Atlanta have been begging the Falcons to get rid of him for 3 or 4 years. They finally got a team that would take him, and now, yeah, man, the Colts are a team that needs a quarterback. I could see that working for them. But again, they're probably going to have a fairly early pick. They're not going to take – no one's going to take this guy before the middle of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. So,
no, I agree. I definitely agree. So let's talk about the rest of the A's. I'm about to say the rest of the AFC. The rest of Week 12, and we're going to start off with talking about big games, some big games. Because, like I said, top 4 definitely struggled this week. So we're going to talk about first TCU versus Baylor, Ray. What was your thoughts on that one?
Baylor let one
Since
slip
you love
away.
TCU so much.
Baylor let one slip away. They could have. They had a shot to. They rushed for points when they didn't need to. They could have tied it up, or made it been a tie game.
Mm-hmm.
Where TCU couldn't have beaten them with the field goal if they just take the extra point. The whole teams wanting to go for 2-point conversions too much to me is just it's another debate for another day. I don't like it. I think that you put yourself in a position where if Baylor just kicks the extra point, TCU can't beat them with a field goal, and you left the door open for them, and it wound up costing you the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the AD. I'm not associated with the college at all. But if I were, and I were people people in charge of Baylor, I'd be like, yeah, man, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I know it's hindsight, but unless it's the middle or end of the fourth quarter, I always have a problem with guys going for points.
I like that, Chris. He said Jalen Hurts can use a decent backup. They're about the same. Jalen Hurts is younger than Hooker.
He is by a few months. You're right about that.
In fact.
He is that. And can we do one thing though?
Yeah.
Calling the Eagles a quarterback factory is a little bit
Yeah, I didn't like when he said that back in the day.
I mean, like it's just stupid.
Like it's still cringy.
At one time, the Packers had Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, Mark Brunell, the kid that played for the Saints for a few years. I can't remember his name.
Aaron
Brooks. And Matt Hasselbeck on the same team. That's a quarterback factory, okay, dude? You have 5 starting caliber quarterbacks. That's a factory. We're not even sure if the Eagles have a really good, legitimate number 1 starter right now. Let's calm down with the factory stuff, okay?
Hold on. Jalen Hurts is doing his thing. Jalen Hurts is doing his thing.
He's fine.
He's doing his thing. Don't hate on.
I'm not hating on anybody. When they bail out early in the playoffs, you guys will be revisiting that debate. But that's okay.
We'll definitely see.
I know.
I don't want to make this an NFL.
I'm not going to make it anything. The whole quarterback factory is a little bit ridiculous, but that's okay.
I'm not going to make this an NFL podcast, but I will say that Jalen definitely changed my mind the Senior Bowl because I definitely wasn't high on him. Last year he looked decent. This year he looked like a lot different. And me and Ray talked about a lot of this stuff off camera before that. I'll keep to myself because we're not an NFL podcast and we don't want to make this into an NFL podcast. But my mind definitely changed on Jalen Hurts for sure.
No, he has me believing that he's going to be a good, solid starter.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we need at least 2 or 3 of them guys before we can call ourselves a factory. That's all.
Got you. All right, let's get to our next game, which will be UJ versus Kentucky, man. Another top team, number 1 team, struggling against Kentucky. And, I thought that Kentucky was washed. Early in the season, didn't really show me much. And then they really played well against Georgia for the most part, at least. Only keeping Georgia to 10 points and at the half, so it's 10-0. But couldn't get nothing on the board on offense, right? What do you think about the game?
I think Georgia showed that they still have a great defense, and
yes,
people forget that defense wins championships usually. So we'll start right there. First and foremost, I do believe, like Chris said, that the best 2 college football teams right now are Georgia and Ohio State. Mm-hmm. But I think Michigan's not that far away. That's my only thing. That's all.
Appreciate that. So for Bennett, man, 13 of 19, but only 116 yards in the air, and he did throw an interception. A lot of people want to put the blame on him, and honestly, I can't blame him. I mean, he's not doing enough on offense, and a team that's gonna have a good defense, like Kentucky, they're gonna struggle to put points on. And you've seen that from the Eagles this past week, and I don't mean to talk about the Eagles again, but they have their defense did well, offense didn't play well, and they only came out for a 1 point game. And if it was a better team, you might have lost. And I think that's the same thing with Georgia. A better offense, they might have lost because hey, it only took 16 points. It only took 16 points, and the defense did give Georgia opportunity with that interception to get more points on the board. So I mean, you can't rely on just the defense. Also, like the defense is good to keep your get off the field fast, let your offense get short yardage and all that. But if your offense can't do nothing, it's going to be hard. It's going to be, I mean, at least something decent, So, what's your take on that, Ray?
I agree with you. Well, we all know their sets and Bennett's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really have playmakers on the outside. Nothing great. They have solid players out there. Where Georgia wins is in running in where they had over 240 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
So they did what they needed to do to win the game. But I do expect them to they need to produce more points than 16. They're not going to beat Ohio State scoring 20 points. So
No, definitely. Yeah, they gotta pick it up because and hey, this is again maybe this is a little bit of all the good teams kind of looking down the road a little bit because again, like I said, all the top 4 teams definitely struggled, and that includes my team, Michigan, who played Illinois. So, Ray, I'll be honest, going into this game, I was not nervous, but I could see this game being close as it was. We did have some injuries. Both our top running backs was injured. Blake Corum, he got injured. When did he get injured? I think in the second half he got injured. Yeah, pretty much in the second half he was out. And then he was already without our backup running back, Donovan Edwards, which is our staple of our offense, basically, the running game. Defense looking really well. I'll say that. Defense did really well, but offense cannot move without our running game. Ray, what do you think about that game?
I thought Michigan's defense played fairly well. They gave up a little bit more rushing yards than I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're a good team. They need to get a little bit more out of McCaffrey. He just needs to be able to throw the ball a little bit more consistently than he has. But if they can find more balance in their offense, I think they're going to be fine.
I agree. 18 for 34, 208 yards wasn't good enough. No touchdown, no interceptions. The no interception thing definitely was a good thing. But like you said, right, we need to see a little bit more from this offense, especially if Blake Corum can't play. I mean, we're going to talk about this game in a second, but if Blake Corum can't play, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, especially – and Donovan Edwards. I mean, you could do a lot with Donovan Edwards. We'll see. A lot of people are giving Ronnie Bell, receiver, all this praise. He only got 3 receptions for 7 targets, 44 yards. We was missing our 2 offensive linemen in this game. Our best tight end been out all year. It's a lot going on at the wrong time with this offense, man. And I'm hoping everybody come back healthy. I'm not seeing anything as far as that not happening, but it was definitely a rough one to watch, right?
It was a tough game to watch, but I think that they're going to have to play games closer to the vest now.
Mm-hmm.
Lean on their defense a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to find more running holes to run the ball and throw the ball a little less because, again, Ronnie Bell is a good football player.
Correct.
He is, but if you're not having your full complementary of guys as far as in your backfield, you have a hard time, I think. So we'll see, though.
Definitely, yeah. Ronnie Bell, and we'll talk about the game in a second, but Ronnie Bell just got put into the Senior Bowl, so I'm excited to have a Michigan guy there always. You know what I mean? But just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, we need him to step up a little bit more, man. If he's gonna be that guy that we think he's going to be. And one thing I always said about Ronnie Bell, even before he became the number 1 guy, is that sometimes he struggled with drops, man, and he needs to clean that up. He really, really needs to clean that up. He's a dynamic player, can do great stuff for NFL, but he got to clean up the catching, man, for sure.
He needs to find different ways to get the ball in his hands.
Correct.
Some jet sweeps, some easy, like little quick slants, something to get the ball in his hands a little bit quicker. So you're not letting the quarterback sit back there in the pocket because McCaffrey's not good if he's holding the ball. He's good when he can run, use some RPO action, get the ball out of his hands quickly. That needs to be his game. When he holds the ball, sits there and pats the ball, he kind of falls in love with how good he thinks his arm is, and he's not accurate always. So
yeah,
he needs to clean that up.
Correct. No, I agree. So hopefully this is a good test for the next game. We're going to talk about the next game in a second. But let's get to our predictions, Ray. Hold on, I need to put in my numbers. Ray, wow, before I put up the numbers, how are you feeling right now, man?
I had a solid week picking games.
Solid. You talking about solid?
Solid.
You talking about like solid?
Solid, yeah, like
no, yeah,
not salad, solid.
Not oh no, you must be talking about solid because you had a great week, right? This is our rankings right now. As you know, I was up one game last week. Ray is now 90-72 because this man went 8-1 last week. 8-1. The only game he had wrong was the Baylor game. Literally the only game he had wrong. He barely had that wrong.
Why do you think I picked on Baylor?
That's literally the only, literally he barely had that wrong. So Ray, you're back on track. He's back. The man, the myth, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend is back, man. He's back with it. So Ray, congratulations, man. I'm down one game now. I'm kind of salty a little bit because I was liking being up front, but hey, man. Congrats to you, man. We've both been struggling last couple of weeks. I went 6-3, so it wasn't a terrible week either. But I can't compete with a 8-1 week, right? So congratulations on that. But hey, man, good stuff. He had Louisville. I had NC State. He had Wake Forest. I had Syracuse. He had Oklahoma. I had Oklahoma State. And like I said, the only one that he didn't get right when we did different games, was Baylor versus TCU. So congrats on that. Did you didn't do parlays? You said you wasn't doing parlays no more, right?
No, I don't really bet too much.
Gotcha. All right, so let's get into week 13. Oh, I'm going back, man. Week 13, man, because this is rivalry week, like we said, and it's gonna be some good games. I can't wait to talk about a lot of these and discuss what we think about them. So let's do it. Let's get to the first game: Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. Ray, who you taking? Ole Miss is favored by 2. It was 2.5. It's 2 now.
I'm going to take Mississippi State in the game.
Okay. Right, I think I'm going with Mississippi State too.
Yeah,
I think I'm going the same way.
I think Mississippi State is a little bit of a better team.
Yeah.
If they were home, I would hands down take them.
Correct.
The only thing that scares me is it is at Ole Miss, but I don't know. I just think they're a little bit of a better team.
Yeah, Ole Miss is up and down.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm thinking Mississippi State, their losses are a really good team. So,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So I like Mississippi State just a little bit more, just like you do.
Yeah.
That game is on tomorrow, so that's gonna be
fun. Yes, that's gonna be fun.
Cool. Get some NFL games in, watch that as well.
Yeah.
Flip back and forth. All right, next game we got a Friday night game or Friday day game with Baylor, Texas. Texas is favored by 8.5. Who you taking there, Ray?
I'm taking Texas.
I'm taking Texas as well.
Take Texas there.
I'm taking that as well. Baylor, they did play a really good game this week against TCU. Barely lost, like you said. They shouldn't have went for 2. If they didn't, they would have went into overtime. Who knows what would happen there? But sure. I just think Texas is just a better team. They overall, running back is an NFL type of running back. Quarterback is really good. Got some good receivers. Defense is better, I think. Probably one of the better defenses in that conference. So I'm taking Texas as well.
Yeah.
All right, next one. You're going with Tulane versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati was favored by 2, now they're favored by only 1. They're at home. Who you taking?
Taking Tulane in that game.
Um, this one's hard. I'm going to slightly give it to Dag, man. I'm going Cincinnati just because on the premise of what you usually say. It's just I like their coaching right now. Tulane is definitely playing really well. But I still think Cincinnati have players on their team, good players, and I think that with the coaching, I think they can outlast a Tulane. And I'll be honest again, like I said last time, I don't watch a lot of Tulane games, so I don't know them that well. I'm gonna stick with the line for now. They're at home, better coaching. I'm gonna go Cincinnati in this one.
I'm just going to go with Tulane because they have a better offense. And the one thing that's been failing Cincinnati most of the year is their defense. You got to remember they did change defensive coordinators. He went to as a coach in Oklahoma now.
Yeah,
And I think they have struggled on defense a little bit more.
yeah.
And Tulane has a nice offense. If I look at the line, I'm thinking, okay, it's Cincinnati. They're home.
Mhm.
If it was a good Cincinnati team against a team like Tulane, they'd probably be favored by a field goal or more. If they're only favored by 1 and they're opening up at 2.5,
Mhm.
tells me Tulane's going to be a little bit too much for them to handle, I think.
Good
On the
premise.
other side of the ball, you know?
Yeah. Next game, North Carolina versus NC State. NC State is at home. They're ranked number 17. They're favored by 6.5, and that line did not move since Monday. So who's taking right?
I got North Carolina.
I am as well. Again, this is one of those. I like this. I like NC State. I mean, I picked them last week to win. I like them. I think that North Carolina just had better firepower on offense. Quarterback is playing out of his mind right now, getting a lot of Heisman hype suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I like Drake Mays. So
Agreed.
cool. All right. I'm gonna say this game for last because we're probably gonna talk about it for a little bit. So
Yeah, let's say that one.
Louisville versus Kentucky. Louisville is away. Kentucky's home, and Louisville is favored. I have from Monday that they were favored by 3.5. Um,
Kentucky's favorite.
Say again, right?
Kentucky's favorite.
Kentucky. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There was 3.5. Now it's 3. That I have right now.
I'm still going to take Kentucky in the game. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I really don't like the line either way. I think that Kentucky wins in a pretty close game. But
yeah, I like how they played last week. I'm taking them as well. They played very hard last week. Offense definitely needs to do something, but they played against a really good defense too. So Louisville's defense is not Georgia's defense. So I think they'll be able to move a little bit. Still got Will Levis, who I think still is a good quarterback. I'm not gonna say he's a top guy anymore, like a top 5 guy that they said he's gonna be. But I still think he's a good draftable guy. And maybe some development. I mean, he's literally their offense though. He's their offense is not. Without him, they probably honestly I think they'll be struggling on offense. So.
I think that Georgia basically saw the same thing you do.
Mm-hmm.
That he's a good player. Just got to get him off his spot a little bit, make him hurt his mechanics a little bit, get him frustrated in the pot, like get him out of the pocket and make him frustrated. Don't let him beat you with his legs. Try to make him beat you with his arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Levis is definitely an NFL prospect. We'll see later on down the road how much of a prospect, but I do think that he is, like you said, he carries their offense so much that when he's not when he's not on point, he struggles.
He got to be A. I feel like he got to be A+ every game.
He does. And you're playing against Georgia, man. That's gonna be difficult for a guy like that.
Yeah. So I agree with that. All right. Oregon versus Oregon State. Oregon State is at home. Oregon is favored by 3 away. They were 3.5, so their point system went down a little bit since Monday. Right? Who you taking?
I'm gonna take Oregon. This is another game. I think it's gonna be really a close, probably a good hard fought game. But Oregon's 3-point favorite on the road. I guess I'll take them to win a close game, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll take Oregon as well. They've been high high power offense. Bo Nix is actually playing really well with that offense. So I can't knock him for his shine. He's doing really well right now. We'll see how he does in the future or whatever, and outside that system. But he's doing well, and I commend him for that. I think it's really cool to see a guy that struggled at one point do really well in a different system. And sometimes sometimes players need that. And I think I talked about this last week. Sometimes players need that. They need a certain system to fit how they are. Sometimes a different environment, different teammates, coaching style. Some people learn better different ways. So we'll see how Bo Nix is. I think he's going into his junior year. I think this is his junior year, so he probably come back for a senior. I think.
I probably would suggest that he does right now. He needs 2 good years of good game film to make him really teams that really want to put their flag in him.
Correct.
Right now, he's coming off of a season where he's played pretty well. But my opinion of Bo Nix has not changed. He's just good enough to think he's good enough, and then you find out he's not. So
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not saying he's world beaten, but I will commend him for doing.
No, he's played well this year. If he does it again next year, maybe improves. Maybe somebody does take a shot with him in the 3rd round. We'll see.
Correct. He said like the 3rd round. A little jab in there. I see that.
Not a jab. Honest opinion.
Okay. All right, let's get to your game. Notre Dame versus USC. I didn't even realize Notre Dame was ranked 15 right now. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that, first of all.
It's actually they've done a lot the last 2 months and a half to get move themselves in a position to get a nice bowl game.
Yeah.
USC is a 5.5-point favorite. They're home. Everything.
It went up by 0.5 point too since Monday.
It did. Everything about the game tells me I should take USC, but I'm going to go to Homer Road and take Notre Dame.
Wow. I mean, I'm taking USC. I will say this, Ray. You had the formula to upset. You do. Keep the ball on the ground. Keep that offense off the board. Tire out that defense. It's not the greatest defense anyway. So tire out that defense. Run the ball. Don't make I forgot your quarterback's name. Don't make him do too much. Pine, yeah. Don't make him do too much. Make him do enough. Go off of play action. Go down the field. Bam. Your defense is stepping it up lately. I'll say, Ray. Like I said, y'all do have the makings of an upset. Y'all really do. I'm going to take USC, though, just because I think that Caleb Williams is definitely playing his best ball right now. They got some of the best receivers right now. If you can keep that offense off the field, I'm giving it to you guys. But if y'all, give the offense too many possessions and don't really control the clock, I think it's USC. And I'm just going to take USC right now because I think their defense can do enough to stop you guys. I'm not saying they're great, but I think they can do enough to get off the field. But we'll see. I think this is one of my favorite games, actually, Ray.
I think it should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. It's like you said, they're like 2 contrary teams. Like USC wants to throw the ball over the place. Correct. Notre Dame wants to win the time battle and keep the ball away from their offense. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I need Notre Dame to put the same kind of effort they put into when they play Clemson. Clemson has a pretty athletic defensive lineman. USC has some nice defensive linemen. Their linebackers are not great, but their linemen are pretty good. I'm going to try to use the same formula. A lot of duo blocking, double teaming the guards in the center, try to find a lane to run through, let USC kind of rush off field. That's what they did against Clemson. They let their guys get upfield, and then they would double team interior linemen and then create gaps, and that was a run through. That is what they need to do in this game. Now, USC is a more potent offense, and they have a way better quarterback. That's my fear, is they're going to make some big plays. And that's probably what will be the killer if we allow them to do that.
Yeah, because like you said, Ray, your defensive backfield is not the greatest right now still. So it plays perfectly in USC's hands. So again, like I said, y'all have to keep the ball out of their hands as much as y'all can.
It does, but Notre Dame's defensive backfield has played a lot better the last two
They have. They
months.
have.
And number 20, who was a true freshman,
Yes.
has turned out to be quite a player.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they let him play Addison all over the field and try to at least take that one guy away, then double up some other guys and see what happens. Again, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I want Notre Dame to win. It's a complete homer pick. Take it for whatever it's worth. That's all.
It's okay, Ray, because I'm about to take a homer pick too. Anyway, we're going to get to one more other game before we get to that one. Oklahoma versus Texas Tech. Oklahoma is favored by 2 away. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Oklahoma. This is a hard game for me to pick because I'm not a fan of how either one of these teams play. Neither one of them play defense at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take Oklahoma to outscore Texas Tech. So,
yeah, I'm going the same way, Ray. Just slightly, like you saying. I like the line because it is close game. Texas Tech is home. That's the only thing that kind of makes me want to pick them.
mm-hmm.
But I just think Oklahoma is just a better team as far as talent wise. So as much as I love Texas Tech and what they've been doing lately, and really trying to build up that team, I just think that Oklahoma is still the better team. So I'm gonna take. All right, last game, Ray. I already know who you're gonna pick, so you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm taking Michigan.
I'm going to take Ohio State, man.
Yeah.
I think Michigan, if their running backs were all healthy, I would have a little bit of a shot for them. And I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not to offend any Ohio State fans out there, I don't really care who wins this game. I just want it to be a good game.
Same.
Michigan found a way to keep the ball away from Ohio State's offense and keep their possessions to a minimum. I can see where they could upset them.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, Ohio State has a little bit too much firepower for Michigan. I do. So.
I 100% agree. Everything you agree with. I'm a Michigan fan. I'll be honest with it. I'm a football fan first, Michigan fan second. I love Michigan. I'm picking Michigan though because I am being a fan with the pick. I'll admit that. But honestly, if I knew for a fact that we're not getting Blake Corum or Jonathan Edwards, I will definitely be on Ohio State. I would have picked Ohio State. But since it's still in the air with those two right now, I'm still going to go with Michigan, not by a lot at all. I think that I do like our third running back. He is a true freshman. I forgot his name exactly. But I do like him. I think he can do some good stuff if they can lean on him and actually if he's going to get most of the reps this week. I like that. With Donovan Edwards, it was a disclosed injury. They didn't say what it was. So I'm curious what that was. Sometimes that's like an illness or something like that, or something like not too crazy. So if you can get Donovan Edwards on the field, the third running back, who's playing very decent. Again, I keep forgetting his name. I feel like it's at the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. His last name starts fast, I think. But if we can utilize those two, utilize Brian Edwards in the passing game out of the backfield, make those linebackers chase him, I think we'd be fine there. Defensively, I like how we are defensively. If we can just get a couple stops, like you said, keep the time possession. Same thing with the Notre Dame. Same thing. If you can keep the offense off the field, play good defense, I think we have a good chance. Ohio State offense is just too good. Their receivers are too good to keep recycling those offensive wide receivers rather. Their quarterback is playing. I was about to say MVP. Heisman style right now. If we can rattle him, I think our defensive line. We don't have an Adrian Hutchinson or a Ojabo, but as a collective, they're doing really well, and I think that's the biggest surprise I had going into the season because I was very worried about our pass rush. I think altogether they're doing very, very well as a unit. Linebackers are doing solid. Defensive backs are probably one of our stronger suits. So that plays in our favor. So I am going to take Michigan It's not going to be pretty, especially if Blake Corum don't play. Um, and if he don't play, my opinion on the game definitely changes a lot. Hopefully he does play. I seen him walking, doing some turkey drives the other day. He looked like he had a slight limp. I'm not gonna lie, kind of worries me. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what's going on with Donovan Edwards. They haven't really picked much more out than that. And we need to see more JJ McCaffrey running. I mean, especially with those two out, hit that RPO. We gotta hit that RPO hard. We did it a lot last year with Nakamura. I cannot say his name for the life of me. McNamara. We did the RPO game last year with him. He's not ready to run, but it worked for him. I think we could do the same thing with JJ, but have him actually run this time, and really play into that. I know that we want to use him more of like a pro style kind of quarterback, but I think right now his development as a passer has to develop a little bit more. Like you said earlier, Ray, he has a really good arm. He can be inaccurate sometimes, though. And his decision making is not all the way there yet. Again, it's his first year starting, so I'm not going to ding him too much on that, but he definitely needs to develop that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that this could be a good game for him to, like you said, maybe use a little zone read, keep the ball, and let him run a little bit. Again, if Corum was going to play, I'd feel a little better about their chances.
Correct.
But again, it's going to come down to Michigan keeping the ball away from their offense. It's really what's going to be the deciding factor in the game. Again,
definitely
feel the same way about Ohio State's quarterback as I feel about Kelly Williams from USC. I feel weird, picking against them because their quarterbacks are so good. Mm-hmm. All the more reason why you got to just keep them off the field. Just keep them off the field. Don't let them make a difference, and because they're going to make a couple big plays. You already know that.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that they're minimal plays, 2 or 3, not 5 or 6, and maybe you have a shot.
Yeah. No, I agree. This the line didn't move at all.
The one thing I will say is that for me, being an older person, it's good to see Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Notre Dame playing in pretty important games right now. It's fun. So
it's fun. It's fun times, man. We talked about this a few years back, man. Having Notre Dame and Michigan back in the fold, man, it feels good.
I mean, like, to me, you throw in Alabama, and I know I'm a weird guy because I'm older, but to me, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Alabama, Notre Dame, Texas, for me, they'll always be the teams that really matter in college football. Now, I know I'm a dinosaur, and not everybody feels the same way, but that's just how I feel. That's all. So,
no, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that another thing too that helps Michigan is that I think the Michigan needs to rely on their tight ends a little bit more. We got some really good tight ends. I think that's going to be a big difference. I think this is the game that we need to pick on our linebackers.
Agreed.
It's the game that we need to really pick on our linebackers. Use the tight ends. Use the Donovan Edwards if he's healthy. Use him out the backfield. Catching balls and things like that. Really take advantage of their linebackers. We can really drain out some clock. Keep the ball on the ground. The other thing that worries me is that they are home. Ohio State is home, so it's going to be a hostile environment. Obviously, they hate us, we hate them. So when we in each other's houses, it makes it more difficult. So the way you kind of take that away is keep that possession. Time possession. You see, what Washington did to the Eagles, man. So
yeah, are you a little surprised that Michigan and Ohio State are playing at noon?
Yeah, like. I was going to talk to you about this off camera. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it so much. I really do, because like there's so much things I want to do, but it's like right in the middle of the day and so early. I'm just like, why? Like, I wish it was like more of a primetime kind of game. And
I agree. Like, I mean, I know they have Notre Dame USC at 7:30, but why not a 4:00 game?
Yeah,
4:30, whatever. Just before that game. I don't get that, but. The fun thing for me is I'm off on Friday from work, and there's like 5 games on Friday, 5 college games on Friday. So I'm
This is one of
excited
those
about that.
weeks. It's definitely one of those weeks where you can just sit down, enjoy the football games all day because
Yep.
it's not a lot of bad games. This is rivalry weekend. It happens, man. You get some great
Great,
games.
man. You got even on Friday, you got Tulane, Cincinnati, Baylor, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
NC State, UNC, UCLA, Cal,
Yeah,
Florida, Florida State. I mean, like
this is
solid
a big
games.
football weekend, Ray. It
It is,
really is.
man. It's good stuff. Really
Yeah,
is.
I agree. I agree. You got the NFL games is going to be on tomorrow. You got
Nice
the one
games tomorrow. Some very interesting NFL games for tomorrow.
right.
We'll get
You
into
got
when I get into my rant, I'll get into that a little bit, but looking forward to it, man. This is like one of my favorite weeks of football. So I love this time of year. I just do. I mean, I'm not a big again, I'll get into it later when I talk about it. I'm not a big Christmas person. I like Christmas because I have a granddaughter now. And of course, kids always love Christmas, but to me, it's not. A lot of my family's gone, man. It's not the same as it used to be when I was a kid. So
understandable.
So
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, man. Football's winding down, man. I feel like it just started. It's winding down. We got high school football's ending soon. College football is gonna be winding down, like getting to the nitty gritty for in the next month. NFL, same thing. It's getting real close, man. Next thing you know, we're gonna be at the Senior Bowl, right?
can't wait.
Can't wait. But also, man, so that's gonna do it for the predictions, man. Good luck, Ray. I hope that you lose every game because there's one I in particular I like. But let's get into some Ray rants. Let's get to Ray rants. What you got for me this week, Ray? What you want to rant
Well,
about?
my rant is not going to be as much as a like I was just talking about. Like I love this time of year, man. I
Yeah.
love Thanksgiving. It's been my favorite holiday since I was a kid. But even now, because they have commercialized Christmas so much, man. They have turned it, it's not a holiday for family anymore. It's just a money grab. The whole thing, like, I just can't stand, like, again, I have a granddaughter, so I will love it for her and I'll appreciate it and look forward to it for her. And for my son, because he's got young ones, and it's great that part of it, but I just love Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is the one holiday that is about getting together with family. It is about watching high school, college, pro football. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is, man. For me, it's just the best. I mean, like when I was a kid, I'd get up real early on Thanksgiving morning, look forward to either playing on Thanksgiving Day or going and watching high school games. And then go home and watch the pro games at the end of the day while I sit there and get fat on turkey and potatoes and pies and whatever else. I mean, for me, it's the best. I just love Thanksgiving. And I will give thanks for it every year I'm still on God's earth. And I just love Thanksgiving. And I just hope that people appreciate it because days like tomorrow, man, when you're my age, they'll mean even more to you than they do right now. So
Definitely. All right, I got a quick rant because I'm gonna piggyback off of yours. Actually, I was gonna get into that real quick, but before I do, get into the rant part, I want to say that most of you guys that have been watching this for a while know that I moved to Atlanta, and the one thing that I missed the most was going to Maple Shade and playing Turkey Bowl with like 5 to 10 to 15 different like teams just out there playing. Like there'd be so many guys just like Ray is really close to a sports complex where you have different fields and stuff like that. And we all used to go over there and there'll be like 5 to 6 different games going on down there. And it used to be fun just going up there, playing pickup with him and his son Ryan. I miss those days, man. Now down here, I don't know where they all at. I think it's a little bit more. Everybody's watching more high school football down here. I don't see that as much. But I don't. And again, I'm new down here, so I don't know the ropes and stuff like that. But I will say that Jersey, that's one of the things I do miss. Just getting bundled up in a bunch of clothes and going out there and play football all morning, go home and eat some food, like you said, right? So I do miss that. But my quick rant was gonna be, like you said, right? I'm actually gonna completely piggyback off what you said because I was gonna say the same thing. Christmas has been so commercialized lately, and with that being said, now that Christmas being so commercialized, it's cutting into Thanksgiving Day. I'll say this, guys, for the love of God, the sales are going to still be there on Friday. Please enjoy your family. Please do not leave Thursday night or even Thursday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon rather, and just start going to go shopping. It's going to be sales all weekend. I guarantee it, especially on Black Friday. Enjoy your family. You're not missing out on stuff. They're still gonna have stuff out there. If anything, you can still shop online. They have a lot of online shopping there. Enjoy your family. Don't feel like you have to jump up and get all the sales and stuff like that. I know it's the prices and everything like that, and we're in a little recession right now, and prices are just inflated right now. So yes, those sales are important right now. But please, family just more important. So please just don't, cut into your family time to go buy a big screen TV. It's not worth it. So that's my little rant. Nothing much. I just wanted to pick it back up from what you said, Ray.
Yeah, I just again, I'm a huge Thanksgiving fan. I always have been, always will be, and I don't like. And I know there are people that really love Christmas, and I'm not trying to minimize it or bash it for them people. Yeah, man, enjoy Christmas. It's great. I mean, I still enjoy some parts of Christmas. They don't really, I don't even know if any stores are really open that much tomorrow anymore. I think they kind of took a lot of that away around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think they have like the Thanksgiving sales the way they used to anymore.
Okay.
I'm glad about that. I just think like the holidays are supposed to be first and foremost about family.
Correct.
And a lot of that is not like it used to be. And I mean, I know people would just say, well, it's because of my age and blah, blah, blah. No. If you take away family and all of religion away from Christmas and Easter, they're just days on the calendar.
What's up, Captain Jack? Appreciate you being in here. He asking, are y'all gonna watch the Georgia Tech game? Yeah, I think Georgia Tech was playing who? Who they playing this week? I just seen it not too long ago.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be right here in Georgia. At Athens, which is about an hour away from me. Definitely gonna keep my eye on it. It's not gonna be a close game though, but yeah,
it's
I think
not.
It's not gonna be a close game. Georgia Tech is a solid team, not a good team, but yeah, definitely gonna keep our eye on that for sure. I think that's at a time.
It's Saturday. That's the problem.
At the same time with Michigan,
you're not gonna watch any of that game because it's on the same time as Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on it, like I'll do all games while I'm watching, but I will not be fully watching it.
This is the other thing that's great. I have 2 TVs in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
They both will have different college football games on, and then I'll have my laptop on with another college football game on.
Hey.
So I will quite enjoy it. Again, this is my favorite time of year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Christmas has nothing to do with it being my favorite time of year. That's the good thing about it for me. Yeah. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I tell Ryan, like, if Ryan never asks me what I want for Christmas, he always goes to my wife. But honestly, dude, I want him to be healthy. I want the baby to be healthy. If I get that, I'm good.
Definitely. He said, Captain Jack says, I went last year and it wasn't fun at all. Screw Collins.
All the screw Jones.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
hey, man, but no, hey, if you're going to be in the area and, you want to go to those games are definitely fun to watch. I mean,
Rivalry college football game, man. Great atmosphere.
Yeah. And I never actually got to go to Athens yet. I was supposed to go last year, but, I heard it's a beautiful campus, really fun atmosphere. I'll definitely recommend going, man. So
I will say this to anybody. If you have a chance to go to a college football game, go.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
go.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, the fans, everything that's going on in the stands, on the field. It is just, it's phenomenal. I mean, like, it's the best thing going today, like Ric Flair used to say. It's the best thing going today. Woo! Okay, so
Woo!
yeah.
Definitely. But guys, that's gonna end it for us today. We're over an hour, so it's time for us to go. But we do appreciate everybody being here. Chris, Remy, Captain Jack, thanks for being on here. We appreciate everyone being here. I hope y'all have a good holidays. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel right over there. If you want to go live with any of the guys on the chat room, like my guy Captain Jack, who says, I recommend going to the Georgia Tech game, even if you're not a Georgia Tech fan. The tickets are $35, and for me, it's nearly all for free this year. You must be a Georgia Tech guy. Maybe me you should link up, man. I'm not too far from Georgia Tech. I'm probably like 30 minutes from Georgia Tech. So hey, maybe we can catch a game one day, for sure. But yeah, man. If you want to go live, just hit that note and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can know when we go live. And if you can't, go live, it's perfectly fine. You can watch this on the replay and put your comments in the comment section. We comment on everybody's questions. If you have a question about your team, or you want to know about our predictions, or you want to laugh at one of us for our predictions, congratulate Ray on an 8-1 prediction because he did crazy last week. Hey, put in the chat room. We definitely reply to you guys. We do appreciate everybody being on here. Before we get off, Ray, real quick, I want to know what you're thankful for.
What I'm thankful for. Well, I'm thankful for my granddaughter, first and foremost, my son, my daughter-in-law, my wife, my family.
Mm-hmm.
It's been literally over a year since my dad passed away, so it's been a tough month, but I'm thankful for all of those things, and I'm thankful for football.
Definitely.
And holidays. I mean, I'm thankful for all of it. Again, man, just thankful for everyone that comes on board on with us and listens to what we have to put out there. And God bless everybody, and enjoy tomorrow and enjoy the weekend. So
definitely. I'm thankful for my family. I just became a uncle yesterday.
Congratulations.
Which is crazy to even think about. Thank you, Ray. It's unfortunate that my brother lives in LA. Him and his wife live in LA, so I won't be able to see my little nephew. But yes, nephew. Definitely gonna be trying to get him into some football when I get to meet him. I'm definitely excited about that. Like I said, it's kind of weird. So first year being an uncle. Thankful for that. 2 days before Thanksgiving, so it's gonna be easy to remember his birthday. So definitely thankful for that. Thankful
so
for
the 22nd.
The 22nd.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my mom's birthday.
Whoa! Wow! So it's easy for you to remember too, man. That's crazy.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And the funny thing is, my jersey number is number 22. So
there you go. And he's not. Is your brother as into college football as you are?
My brothers absolutely do not like football. Like I'm the only one in my family that loves football. I think that's why I started a podcast like this.
Okay.
I'm the only one in my family that loves football.
The only bad thing about it is that's also the day that JFK was assassinated, but that's okay.
I mean, hey man, we're not going to think about that part.
Yeah, I got you.
But
we did watch JFK yesterday, though.
Yeah, definitely. But I thank you for that. And thank you for my ITH family, man. You guys are family to me, man. And that extends not only from like Ray and the rest of the ITH family, but that extends to all our listeners, all our people out there that's been supporting us and doing great things. We're on a fast track to 5,000 on Twitter, so we do appreciate everybody that's helping us grow and been watching us since day one, or even the new people. So they're very thankful for that. And last but not least, I'm thankful for Michigan football. Go Blue! Thank you guys for checking us out. We appreciate y'all. Hopefully you have a good Thanksgiving. I know I will. And thank you again. Peace. Have a good one.